take the steps beyond your way. Take the steps when you have a dream. You gotta start. It's the only way. If you're gonna shine, and you're gonna shine, shine, shine. You're gonna shine. And we're shining bright on my favorite place on the ranch. Thank you for tuning in. We are brought to you by Blast Music 24/7, your one stop for all indie music. If you're an indie artist, you want your music on Blast Music 24/7. And if you're looking for new music of all types, Blast Music, really good to their indie artists, curated playlists, actually pay their artists. So great platform. Check it out. All right. We're also brought to you by Hotel Universe, which, again, for us, we don't compete with each other, but we want to stay competitive, and you need a great video. So tell Hotel Universe that Randie sent you. They'll give you a good deal. So also to the max, advertising, things like my banner, they'll hook you up. So we also have our listeners, which I really love. We have our radio stations in France, My Indie Radio, and then we go to the Plow Zone in California. So we literally span the globe to bring you the best in indie Americana music. So we're going to have some fun tonight with some great guests. So we go live every Monday at 7, where you could actually join. I see Billy. Billy, hello. And a few other people watching. You're free to join the conversation. We'd love to have responses, and we'll read them out so everyone can hear them. If you can't join us live, we are on all streaming platforms, the podcast, Pocket Cast, Podcast Addict, YouTube Music, Pod Paradise, Amazon Podcasts. We're everywhere you want to be, including Roku TV. So you can catch us there too. All right, tonight, we're going to have some fun. We got Richard Couts from Alberta.
Yep.
How are you?
Really good. Thanks. Thanks for inviting me.
Oh, thanks for being here and taking time out and talking with me.
Well, that's it's a great way to do it. It's 5 o'clock here, so it's just before supper time. So that's cool. I'll work up an appetite.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll keep you busy. And I bet you guys are colder than we are.
Yeah, it's actually been a pretty nice fall. We had a little bit of snow a couple of days ago, but it's gone. But I'm about 40 minutes from the Rocky Mountains, and they're all white on top right now.
Right. I'm not far from the Poconos, and they didn't get snow, but they're going to start making snow really soon.
Cool. Do they do skiing there?
They do skiing, yeah.
Cool.
Blue Mountain, Camelback. I'm not a skier, so someone chime in and help me here. There's tons of stuff by me in the Lehigh Valley and the Poconos. Those are two that I can, like, off the top of my head.
Right.
So I am a warm weather girl.
Well, we had a very well, it was kind of wet this summer, which is unusual for this part of town. Of the province, but it's the temperature's not too bad.
Yeah. So far, just windy. Today's been really windy. So you are the Accidental Martyr. Now, is that a band or the album name or project? What do we got here?
Well, it started off as a project. This is that when I started. Well, I've been writing for a long time, but when I decided to record, I wanted to have a brand name, and I didn't particularly want to use mine because I wanted other artists kind of to come in and take part of it. And and I was listening to a lot of Warren Zevon at the time, and he had a song called "Accidentally Like a Martyr," which is one of his better tunes in my opinion. So I kind of coined that tune.
Cool. So it was kind of something to fashion yourself around, like an identity.
Yeah, I kind of like his sardonic humor. And he just, a couple of weeks ago, he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So that was kind of new that he finally got his recognition because he is quite influential, and people like Linda Ronstadt recorded his music. So he is an important part of not only just Americana music, but for all type of music.
I love artists like that when it comes to the forefront. People, don't pay attention so much to how much goes on behind the scenes,
Yeah.
and why someone like that would be so important. They're like, oh, Linda Ronstadt really sang one of his songs, and, when something like that comes to light and they get rewarded for it, that's really cool.
Yeah, he was part of the Southern California scene during the early 70s. And I mean, that included Jackson Brown and J.D. Souther and the Eagles. So he's kind of all part of that. He was just kind of on the fringes because he was a little bit out there, other than Werewolves of London. He wasn't really well known, except in those type of circles. But I always thought he was just a great, great writer.
My band is called Randie O'Neill and the Werewolves of Summer.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
Every time, you got to play Werewolves of London. I'm like, no, I don't. And we're the Werewolves of Summer.
Right.
Summer. So anyway, so you're the kind of the brains behind the project. People kind of come in and out.
Yeah.
Tell me about your songwriting process. How do you get started?
Well, I guess for most of it, it comes from a melody. Once you find a melody, whether I'm doing it on piano or guitar or bass, I'll be humming along, or I'll hear something and go, that sounds kind of cool. And I tend to be very much into a melody. There's nothing wrong with other ways of writing. I mean, I really like a good groove as well, but it's usually a melody. And I think that's only because, I've kind of was raised on the Beatles type of writing, and during the 60s and the 70s were very, very strong melodies. And it continues on to this day.
Right. So you start with music and then throw in lyrics.
Most of the time, yeah. I'm always amazed at people like Elton John, who had Bernie Taupin do all the lyric writing first, and then he wrote a song around it. That's not in my skill set, doing that.
I'm the opposite of you. I don't understand, like, melody. Like, I have something working in my head, like a beat and stuff, and I start writing out lyrics. But I don't know where the song wants to go unless I don't have the lyrics.
Well, that's a good thing about collaboration too, is that if you find a melody writer or someone that's on the same wavelength that you are, you can get some magic going on there. And I did that actually with a young lady or a young singer from Houston last year, and we there's a huge age difference from us, but I sent her a song about internet bullying and asked her if, what do you think? And she kind of got onto it. And I sent her kind of all the stems and let her listen to the music. And then she came up with her vocals, which are fantastic. And then she sent it back to me. And then I took to my producer and we kind of worked out all the kinks and put it up. And we had some magic right there. And it's still up on the chart. So it's doing really well.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And it's collaborations are challenging because, again, it's nice that one does this piece, one writes the melody, one writes the lyrics, or in a collaboration that way. Because sometimes there's just no chemistry and it just doesn't.
Exactly. You can see that in movies too, where there's, you got two great actors, but if they don't have the chemistry, it just doesn't work.
Yeah. I've done two. I've done one with Anthony Cruzan. He used to be a guitar player for the Spin Doctors, and we wrote a song together. Oh, it was so much fun. And, his process, because we did it was actually in person and we were just flying off each other. And I'm old school, paper and pen. And he's like, on the computer. But it turned out to be a really, really cool song, a little misunderstood. And then I wrote one with a guy in Ireland. We were going back and forth.
That's the beautiful thing about the internet too, where you can do that, is talking to people all over the world and sharing the same experiences or learning new experiences.
Right. Downtown Detroit is his name that he goes by. So.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and that's the beauty of this show too. Like, I can go. I'm not bound by one geography. If I find good music, let's bring it. And you write in kind of different styles. We're going to listen to a little bit of blues, some country rock.
Yeah, it's I was playing in cover bands for like 40 years, and I got the ability to play with likely all the best musicians there are in Southern Alberta, and that was from playing rock and roll to playing blues, playing big band jazz, playing cocktail type of jazz with just trios. So you really get a lot of variety, and a lot of times it kind of spills into each other. And then when I work with my producer, he also does an awful lot of the guitar work. So, and we're kind of on the same wavelength. So we kind of go, well, maybe we should try it this way, or maybe we should try it that way. And I'm quite sure when you said working with the spin doctors, whoever thought you would do that, and yet it likely brought out something new in you, and it's going, wow, I didn't realize that could happen.
Yeah. Yeah, it's some cool stuff when it does. When it works, it's magic,
Yeah.
But when you collaborate too, you start to learn why some bands don't stay together.
Oh, absolutely.
Chemistry can just be explosive,
Well, again, you said chemistry, and then obviously when you get older and you kind of get a little more set in your ways and go, no, it goes this way or it goes that way. And yeah, I totally understand it. I was very fortunate to be with a guitarist for likely 35 years. We were in a variety of different bands, but we were just always on the same wavelength. So things worked out well.
Right. When you find that chemistry that works, and sometimes it works for a long time, and sometimes, life happens and doesn't stay together,
Yeah, absolutely.
So, okay. Now you can write some different tempos too. This one that we're going with, it's kind of a murder. It's based on a true story, Starlight Tour.
Absolutely, yeah. It's unfortunately there was a practice. I don't think it happens anymore because of what happened. This is, I believe, it was in the 80s. It was in a city in Canada called Saskatoon, and there was a habit of the RCMP or the Mounties in smaller places. They would take Indigenous people who had been drinking too much and take them out in the country and let them walk it off coming back into town, and as opposed to throwing them in the drunk tank or taking them to court or whatever, they just would let them do that. Now that's kind of like being judge, jury, and executioner in this case, where they took out this young man who I'm quite sure was a handful for the Mounties, but it didn't excuse what they did, and they took him out to the country quite a ways, and it was 25 below. And they didn't give him a jacket or shoes, and he froze to death.
I thought you Canadians were nice.
Yeah, that's a that's a selling point, but no, there's some bad people up here too.
Yeah, my mind is blown now.
Anyways, it became a national story, and it lasted in the news for quite a long time, and that wasn't an isolated case either. It happened all over. I mean, I heard it too when I was putting the song together and researched it, and found out that in cities like Las Vegas, they do the same thing, except not to the extreme, but they take all the street people out and they take them out to the city limits so it looks nice and pristine for the tourists when they come in.
First of all, you expect so much better from your police, it's horrible.
Yeah, well, in any occupation, I think you do have the fringe people who maybe take their job a little too seriously and have too much power in their hands.
Yeah, it's true. We can't condemn all cops. It's a tough job.
It's a tough job. Yeah.
And sometimes it starts at a little joke. We're just going to take them to town, and then they get carried away and somebody dies.
Exactly. Anyways, it was it brought to light that situation, and I mean, I have no idea whether it is still done. Obviously, in the bigger centers, it doesn't. I mean, there's a frustration on both sides, but it still doesn't excuse it to take that type of power in your own hands.
Yeah. Well, we gotta listen to this song, Starlight Tour.
Through this step or they put you down. No one's trying to understand. Misery breeds on barren lands. I do peonies or alcohol. Diffuse the pain that's in my soul. I'm falling through the cracks again. Blind eye stares from so-called friends. I know angel, that's for sure, but don't take me on a star tour. With you minus 25, I'll never make it home alive. The red and blues are flashing bright. They pull you over most every night. They said I had too much to drink, but this time, boy, we don't waste ink. We'll cuff your wrists and get inside. Take you for a long, hard ride. Drop you off in a nowhere field. You're all alone, your fate is sealed. I'm no angel, that's for sure, but don't take me on a starlight tour. With you minus 25, I'll never make it home alive. I'm no angel, that's for sure, but don't take me on a starlight tour. With you minus 25, I'll never make it home alive. I'm no angel, I'm no angel. With you minus 25, I'll never make it home alive.
And we are back on the ranch. We are brought to you by Blast Music 24/7, your one stop for indie music. If you're an indie artist, you want your music there. And if you're finding new music of all genres, Blast Music 24/7. And we are on the ranch with Rick Coutts. Am I saying that right or am I killing it?
It's Coots.
Coutts.
Yeah, it's a Scottish name.
Okay. Oh, the heavy accents of Scotland.
Exactly. I didn't wear my kilt. Didn't wear my kilt though.
All right. So, wait, somebody we got a comment. Great blends. I'm going to really agree with that. I mean, there were so many great layered guitar parts on that, you know,
Yeah.
and they're each distinct and they worked well together. They blended together. So, Billy, I agree with that. It's a really nice work on that song.
Yeah, Greg Gunhold is the guitar player who also produces it, and I think he really nailed it on that song. He didn't. A lot of the songs he doesn't get a chance to stretch out too much, but on that guitar solo, he did a pretty good job.
Right. Right. I don't know. The guitar solos are like gone to the wayside in modern music.
Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. It's but you know, if again, you know, dealing in Americana, it's if you watch, I mean, someone like Jason Isbell, I mean, he's got a great band, and they stretch out too, especially in their live shows.
Mm, right, right. That's why people have to go see live shows, because
Absolutely, yeah.
that's where bands like really shine. That's why I have a group that goes into the studio. And there are certain things that are going to happen there, and then live, you just create this other experience.
Absolutely, yeah. Two different animals.
Two different animals. Two different animals. So, and it's a lot of fun, and our genre audience expect that.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah, if it wasn't people like you, we're going to let AI take over, and we can't do that.
Yeah, God, you're hearing it more and more.
Yeah.
I mean, people are using it. They're like, they write the songs, they do the productions, and it's not as easy as it sounds to do the lyrics using AI, because you can't make it sound like Katy Perry or something like that. You almost have to kind of go line by line. But I got to tell you, it's you can't argue with what he came up with. Scary.
Well, it kind of forces artists to become a little more creative and kind of search for different ways to say really the same type of story, but maybe from a different perspective.
Yeah, they haven't gotten to the point of like deep insight and things like that. You kind of have to direct that. You almost have to give them the hook, or write a hook about this. You have to kind of really direct it, and I don't think they do well with guitarist parts either. But I don't know.
No, well, we'll see what happens, but I just had more power to all indie artists who are out there playing live.
Right. And there's fewer venues that want to pay money.
Right.
It's not an easy gig.
No, it isn't. No, I had a luxury back in the 70s and the 80s where we worked an awful lot, because it was kind of my second job, and but it still helped pay the bills, and we were bringing up kids, and only just had my day job, and then so that playing gigs on the weekend would pay for all the extras.
Right. Oh, that's fun. That's fun. It kept you busy.
Kept you busy.
So you were playing almost every weekend?
Pretty well. We had flat times like January and February. We're not usually very good. Christmas was fantastic. We have an event up in this part of the world called the Calgary Stampede, which is where everybody gets to dress up and be crazy like a cowboy for a week. And I'd be playing two or three gigs a day. You do a breakfast, and then you'd go, and then you would do like an afternoon gig, and then you'd play your evening gig, play to 1 or 2 in the morning, and then you're up again, playing a 6 o'clock gig the next day for breakfasts. So you made a lot of money, but it sure wore out.
Yeah, it sounds exhausting. I had an afternoon show in Knoxville, and then I had to hightail it back to Nashville for an evening show. Like, we were hauling. So,
yeah, it's tiring stuff.
It is.
It's a young person's thing too.
Now, let me ask you this. That was covers. And I think cover bands are easier to book than us indie that do a lot of originals.
Yeah, I think that likely most establishments, they want something predictable. So they, like to know what your catalog is and what you're going to be playing. I mean, if you're, I have played gigs where, it was booked the wrong way. You come in there ready to play some rock and roll, and what they want to hear is folk music, or you want to play some jazz music, and they're going, well, how about AC/DC? And go, now, at least we had a large enough catalog that we could fake our way through a lot of those things. Most times it was just like turning the amps up and turning the amps down, one to the other, but we got by.
Right. It's nice that you guys had a deep repertoire.
Exactly.
Oh, I've been booked in wrong rooms. I was I had a new wave band back in the 80s, and we were booked at this biker bar. And I thought we were going to die.
Yeah.
I had my spiked hair. Like, I was totally alternative. And I really thought I was a goner. And it was quiet. They were respectful. And at the end, they came out and they said, you know, you're not our style of music, but you guys are really good at what you do. And I'm like, I'll take it because I'm running now.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there are those type of gigs, that's for sure.
Yeah, not playing isn't an option, but running for your life is afterwards, you know?
I always think of that famous scene in the Blues Brothers where they're booked into a country bar and they have the chicken wire in front of the band and they're getting stuff thrown at them. And then they come out and they play Rawhide and it was just perfect.
And then they play it like a trillion times.
I think so. Just let's do it again. Do it again.
Like 2 hours of Rawhide or Wagon Wheel or something like that. You know?
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, if you're a full-time musician and you want to make a living at it, you better have a backup plan. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's a smart strategy. All right, our next song we're going to be listening to is Halfway Gone. And it's really about being halfway home or coming home. Yeah,
and it can also be about a relationship too, about you're kind of in with a relationship or you're out of the relationship. But as you know, you said you're on the road quite a bit, and that's being on the road's hard on a relationship, regardless if you're just away for one night or whether you're away for 6 months. Or it's very difficult to hold a relationship together when you're on the road.
I know, my dog misses me terribly.
Good dog.
My bird will give me attitude for months. It is hard. It is hard. I'm home, buddy. Okay, on to the song.
Great.
Well, so it's about being on the road. So it's not exactly a breakup, but just somebody who's kind of absent a lot.
I think it's a reflective song about looking back at how they've treated their partner and whether it was a good thing or a bad thing. And also going that, but I am on the road. That's what I do.
Right. That's what you signed up for.
Exactly.
Unfortunately. All right, let's give it a listen.
Every time I'm far away, I count the days until I'm by your side. I rearrange my memories so I won't see the lonely tears you've cried. From Babylon to Avalon and all points in between, always searching for what might have been. It doesn't matter where I go, you are the road I travel on, either halfway home or I'm halfway gone. When I was young and restless, I was such a mess, a selfish SOB. I was sure that every oyster pearl in the whole wide world was meant for me. Sacrificed, paid the price till the treasure lost its gleam. Everything seems brighter in a dream. It doesn't matter where I go, you are the road I travel on, either halfway home or I'm halfway gone. So once again I'm out the door. I'll leave before we fumble with goodbyes. I've always had the common sense to know the consequence of compromise. If I return to learn you found a different route than me, how we acquiesce to destiny. It doesn't matter where I go, you are the road I travel on, either halfway home or I'm halfway gone. It doesn't matter where I go, you are the road I travel on, either halfway home or I'm halfway gone.
And we are back on the ranch. We're brought to you by Blast Music 24/7, your one-stop for indie artists. That's where you want to be. We also have our radio stations listening, so shout out to California, Plow Zone, and My Indie Radio out in Paris. We love you guys listening every week. Keep coming back. And then if you don't catch us live or on the radios, Wednesdays and Thursdays, Plow Zone is Wednesdays and Thursdays is My Indie Radio. You can catch us on all the streaming platforms, Listening Notes, Stitcher, Pandora, all that good stuff. So we're on the ranch with Rich, and I got to tell you, that's a sweet one. It just drives enough. I love that bass. It's just boom. Oh, Billy says he knows the feeling of that. You know, if you're home or if you're leaving.
Yeah, exactly. That's it's. Yeah, I don't venture too much into that, although I likely should. But I just love the fiddle in it, though. That kind of, it kind of has that almost Irish feel to it with the fiddle in the background.
Well, I think it gets a little folky. You do have a little drum, that drives the song, but the fiddle and the way the guitars are laid out, it's like it's folky Irish. It's got a cool vibe.
Yeah, it's good to go in different places that you're not used to.
So here's my question. Now you were in all kinds of bands and you played all kinds of music. Why Americana? Why are you leaning towards the country?
Well, as I said, it kind of started. I mean, it started with the Beatles. I think so many people of my generation, that 1964 performance on the Ed Sullivan Show really radically changed an awful lot of people's lives, and then music exploded. And I mean, I was very much into the British invasion at that time, but then it started to spread out into California and started listening to the Byrds, and then there was a band that started with a couple of Canadians that were in it called the Buffalo Springfield, and between the Buffalo Springfield and then the band, which was from Toronto. That just kind of, I mean, when there are descriptions about the Buffalo Springfield and the band, they basically say the roots of Americana, which is kind of, it just means that it's not just one type of format, it's several of them put together, and it comes out sometimes country, sometimes folk, a little bit of blues, even sometimes jazz is in there too. So
not often though.
No, but it's surprising where you might find it. I mean, if a very famous singer, Joni Mitchell, was brought up in where I live in this area, and she just would hate herself being pigeonholed as a folk singer, because when you listen to her singing, especially the older she got, it became very jazz-like.
Huh. I didn't know she didn't like to be called a jazz singer. I mean, a folk artist.
No, No, I mean when she started off, she did play coffee shops, and she and Neil Young did a lot of those. And then when she moved to California and hooked up with David Crosby, they started doing folk music. And I mean, her music is absolutely beautiful, but it didn't really fit any type of particular category. It wasn't really
Mm.
straight folk music. And then by the time she got to you know, Court and Spark and the albums of that genre, and then she was hiring jazz musicians to be her backup band, and then from there she
Okay.
just took off.
Man, that it did. That it
Yeah,
did.
and I mean, people like Brandy Carlisle, or you know, has gone in and kind of brought her back so that younger generations can really hear how fantastic she
I know
is.
that was amazing. Like some of the collaborations that are going on. We talked about that earlier, but a lot of artists like Brandy and Joni like getting together. It's amazing. It's some cool stuff.
Yeah, it's. I think it's dangerous to kind of get pigeonholed into one genre. I think it's good to stretch your wings. I know your audience expects things, but I think also you got to treat your audience with respect and go.
Mm.
You know, they can think things through. And I mean, if they're rubbing them too much the wrong way, then they obviously will drop you. But I still think you should respect your audience.
Right. When you're not going to write to try to please your audience. You're going to try to write something and hope your audience is going to relate to it.
Yeah.
You know, and I had this conversation with Eric Summers. I wanted to add a little bit more modern flair to things, and he's like, "Remember your audience. Remember your audience. You're not writing to kids. They're not your people." And he's right. You have to know who's probably going to be listening to your music, and you have to
Yeah.
do that.
You have to be true to who you really are. I remember there was a documentary out several years ago on country music, the history of it, and there was a scene where Garth Brooks was telling the story about it was one of his first albums, and he was working with a legendary producer out of Nashville, and everything was going smooth, and then the producer said, "Garth, come here, this last song, what are you doing?" And he says, "Well, I kind of wanted to sound more like George Strait." And the producer, being an older and wiser guy, said, "We already got George Strait. Just be yourself." And I thought, what a wonderful line that man had.
To that vein, do you know Ed Sheeran?
Yeah.
Ed Sheeran went from a straight up singer-songwriter, and now they've got him doing his producers like he's doing some dance stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Ed, is that really you, or is things out of control with the machine? I don't know. But I feel like he's lost.
Yeah, it sounds like he's got too many people whispering in his ear. He is a talented writer.
No doubt about it. But I think they lost what really made him famous.
Yeah, and his connection. And of course, when you go and you play, and you've been around for a while, the audience expects to hear the hits and the songs that kind of drew them to you in the first place. And I don't think they need to have the backup dancers and all the video stuff. A song is a good song, and you're connecting with. Hopefully, you're connecting with at least one person in your audience.
And again, it goes to knowing your audience. Like, who's going to sit and listen to a singer-songwriter? He was just up there with his guitar, and us music heads, I'd be like, yeah, sing it, and then you go to another audience that wants this dog and pony show and the lights and
Right.
Everything going. And I'm an old school. It's all about the song.
Yeah.
I'll dance a little bit. I love to dance and stuff like that. But when Ed was up there with the guitar, his Taylor, it was magic.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the few people that can go in front of 20, 30,000 people just by himself with his loops and hold it together and have people singing along. And
Yes.
that is really special.
It is. And I just feel his new stuff is, but that's not the point. We got some other good stuff, but what with the conversation we were having, so I'm not too far off base here.
Well, I think just where we were talking about Americana, and it's funny how that has become a term, but I think it's just because you couldn't put somebody into a tidy little pigeonhole. Uh, we'd call it Americana, and that covers so many different things. I mean, I'm a big fan of Rian Giddens, and
Wow.
but also, I'll listen to blues. I just saw Billy Bob Thornton the other day, and I knew he had a band, but I didn't know what type of band it was. And then he played the Grand Ole Opry, and I listened to it, and I went, "That is one fine band." And
Yeah.
he said they recently opened for the Who, which was okay. That's pretty good.
Yeah. The Bacon Brothers, I heard, were good. You ever hear of the Hollywood Vampires? I want to
Oh
see
yeah, yeah. That with Johnny Depp and Alice
Yeah,
Cooper.
that is the most
Yeah.
unlikely hodgepodge of musicians that are just having a blast.
Well, it's like what Billy Bob said. He's always been a musician. That's why he gets up in the morning. The acting thing just kind of came by accident. I think Johnny Depp is the same way too. Is if you sat down and had a conversation like this, he said, it's the music first, and the acting thing, well, that pays the bills.
Yep. Yeah, because he actually was in a band that did really, really well, and then he moved to LA to make music, and it fell flat, and he wound up getting acting roles. So
Yeah, well, life is funny.
yeah, worked out for him. So there's that. There's that. All right, the last song we have, we're going to the blues for your last
Yeah.
song.
Yeah,
Definitely.
it's a funny. When I was writing this, I mean, I had the riff first, as I told you. I find the melody, and
Mhm.
I didn't want to write something traditional, and I don't know if you know who Nick Cave is, but Nick is I would say he's basically a rock performer, but he does really well singing murder ballads, and songs like Frankie and Johnny and Hey Joe are traditional murder ballads. And so I took the role of the bad guy in the song, as I said earlier, about finding a different perspective of how to approach a song, especially writing lyrics. So I played the jerk, and about it being a philanderer and kind of abusing my relationship and telling the partner that I'm going out to have a good time. You're not doing it for me. And even though I kind of visualize this having a video, and I never did come across with the video, but at the end, the bad guy gets his just desserts because he's searching for his revolver, and his partner has it. So, no, it's just
You've got to get video on some of these.
yeah. Well, it was. I'm quite sure you're the very same way. We're telling stories.
We're telling stories, and this one, Starlight Tour it'd be great fun videos.
Yeah, it's time of day and funds, but yeah, it would be fun to do that.
Yeah, they're good songs. I like videos, so I'm a ham in front of camera. Like shooting video. I love shooting videos.
Yeah, I
So,
like your recent one too, though, in the bar. That's really quite cool.
yeah, that smile, the No song.
Yeah.
Yeah, my great niece Janelle just finished film school. I'm like,
Yeah.
yay!
All right.
And we're shooting around, and we're having fun. And I'm like, we're gonna need this by the end of the month. And she just looks at me. She goes, I'm working for free. I'm like, okay, get it to me when you can.
Yeah, exactly. Good niece.
Yeah, it's great to have it in the family. It came out really well.
Yeah,
Really well.
it does.
She's a good editor. She has a good eye. That's the important part. Anyone can shoot footage. I honestly believe that, with the iPhone cameras and now, it's the editing.
Yeah, pacing and editing. You're absolutely right. Is that the visual as well as the musical or the audio have to complement each other, and you have to know exactly where to come in. And again, it's a personal choice. What you feel may be different to another person, but that's what makes the songs interesting.
Yeah. All right, we're going to listen to Death of Me.
Should stay the night. Give me one good reason, baby, why I should stay here tonight. You want a knight in shining armor, someone who's righteous and true. But you start, I do some kind of wrong by you. Don't try to change because I told you before, I'm nothing but trouble, I'm bad to the core. My wicked way gonna be the death of me. Of me. There's smoke in your kitchen, but I can't feel the heat. There's smoke in your kitchen, baby, but I can't feel the heat. I got a fire down below, can't get my fill, so don't wait up for me, woman. Gonna find myself a thrill. Don't bother pleading as I walk out the door. Just count yourself lucky if I'm not back anymore. Ways gonna be the death of me. My wicked ways gonna be the death of me. In your kitchen, but I can't feel the heat. Yeah, there's smoke in your kitchen, baby, but I can't feel the heat. I got a fire down below, I can't get my fill. Find myself a thrill. Don't try to stop me, get away
are back on the ranch. We are brought to you by Blast Music 24/7. And if you're an indie artist, Americana artist, and you'd like to be on the ranch, all you have to do is find my website. You got to spell my name right first. Randie O'Neill, Randie's with an IE, ONEIL.com/shows. And you can apply to be on the ranch. We'd love to have you, just like Rich, the accidental martyr.
Hey, and big thanks to Billy. That's great.
Although, yeah, Billy really dig that one.
Yeah, cool.
For an accidental martyr, there's a lot of death in your songs.
Yeah, well, and it's kind of funny. It's I don't really write too many love songs. Most of them have to do either with social situations or things that I feel strongly about, which I guess gives it a lot of authenticity to it. But no, I don't. And those would likely be, two of them are fairly dark songs. Not all of them are that dark, but those are the ones I thought might fit the format of this show.
Right. Oh, they did perfectly. I really enjoyed them. Halfway Gone. Good song.
Yeah, it's my wife's favorite song. So.
She picked that one because she knows you're coming and going. So we have a few more minutes left. Are you still playing out? What are you working on? Where can we find you? All that good stuff.
Well, I have a website, accidentalmartyr.ca, and I'm up on all the streaming platforms. And I haven't done any live shows. I recently signed on with a record company out of Vancouver, and they've been poking me and say, "Come on, we want you to do some festivals and stuff." And I'm a bit reluctant. Like I said, I played live gigs for 40 years, and I think I know every greasy spoon and smelly elevator there is in my neck of the woods. So I don't really have any desire to go back out on the road. I mean, it could still happen, but I certainly would have to have a crack band to back me up, because I just can't do it by myself anymore.
Oh, so right. It's more fun with the band too.
What's that?
It's more fun with the band.
Oh, it absolutely is. And of course, if you're playing live, it kind of morphs from night to night, which is really cool. You don't play the same thing the same way every night. So yeah, it's great. As I said, I had a luxury of playing with a lot of big bands. So I was kind of in the background playing bass and kind of holding things together. But that kind of rubs off on you, and especially when you're playing with such great horn players, as long as you don't tear your head off with how loud they are.
That's good stuff. So who's the record company in Vancouver?
They're called Big Records. And,
Big Records. Okay.
Yeah. So it's, I just started with them.
An indie company.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff. All right. So we can find your stuff all over the place. We just have to Google you.
Just have to Google me, yeah.
All right. Really good stuff. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. I really had a lot of fun. You have any new music coming up?
Not really. We have a bit of a family situation going on right now, so it's kind of taking me away from recording anything. I got tons of material. I did write my brother a song for his birthday this summer about brothers, and I'd like to kind of do that, and it definitely has a very country feel to it. So that might be the next thing that kind of comes out on. Well, I guess it's not on record anymore; it's out on streaming. But I'm looking hopefully sometime in the early 2026 that it should come out.
Okay, we'll be looking forward to it.
Great. I really appreciate you very much for having me on your show.
Oh, thank you so much. Guys, we are here every Monday when we go live. Wednesdays on the Plow Zone, Thursdays in My Indie Radio in Paris, and we're all over all the streaming podcasts, so you can listen to us anytime, watch us on Roku. But I will catch you next week. Everyone, have a good night.
Good night.
All right.